Hello! It is so good to see you guys. It is week 8, day number 3, and you should have your DOL already finished for the week. I need to make a small correction on your schedule here. It says to read Jake Drake chapter 7. This needs to change to chapter 8. So can you guys please make that change? We're going to read chapter 8 today. And it says sophisticated synonyms. So let's start with sophisticated synonyms here. One of the things you're going to notice too is it has a vocabulary study in here, which is not listed on your sheet. So we can do this really fast too. Let's do the vocabulary study. Remember, synonyms are words that mean the same or almost the same. So we have lousy, practically, snooped, bad, intruded, and almost. So let's start with lousy. Lousy is the same thing as bad. If you're feeling lousy, you're feeling bad, right? So we can connect those two. Practically means like he practically did something. Like he really did it or he almost. Yeah, if he's practically is almost. And so if somebody snooped, they intruded. They got like up in your business. Cool. Next we have reminded, confused, or radar. So the police officer used her blank to identify which cars were speeding on the highway. So what is a police officer? What would she use? She would use her radar. Yeah. And then it says Tommy's mother blank him that he could not play outdoors until he cleaned his room. Oh, she confused him or she reminded him? Yeah, she reminded him. It may have confused him if he didn't hear her the first time, but she's reminding him. Gail was confused by the difficult math problem. Cool. This vocabulary isn't too challenging. And then this one, you'll do your 3 sentences just like you did last time and describe the last time you felt confused. Maybe you were confused this morning. All right, cool. Easy squeezy, lemon peasy. Now, on sophisticated synonyms, what you're going to notice is this. This is the beginning of the page here. This is the front page. And then see how it kind of got copied a little wonky? No worries though. We'll do this side first and then we'll just flip it over and do this side. If you fold it backwards like this, see how I did that? So I'll just do this and then I just flip it over and I can do this. Cool. Okay, so sophisticated synonyms. In chapter 7, Jake tells us that he learned some new and fancy words. Let's do the same. A synonym is a word or a phrase that means the same or nearly the same as another word or phrase. For example, shut is the synonym for close. Below our sentences from chapter 7, on the 3 blank lines in each sentence, write 3 synonyms for an underlined word. On the line below that, rewrite each sentence, replacing the underlined word with the synonym of your choice. The first one's done for you. So I learned that just because you're in 3rd grade doesn't mean you can't read some long words. So instead of long, they use the words lengthy, immense, and massive. So, and then down here, and I learned that just because you're in 3rd grade, it doesn't mean you can't learn some lengthy words. So you just choose the one here. Let's look at number 3. The day before vacation, we had to turn in our permission slips. So what's another word or a group of words that means the same thing as turn in? You could say we had to submit. You have to submit your paperwork, right? You have to give it, you have to submit it. So submit your paperwork. What else? You had to return. Yeah. What else means the same thing as that? So submit, return. What else do you come up with? Well, we'd even say give, right? We had to give our permission slips back to our teacher. So we could say give back. We had to give back our permission slips. Okay, so now I'm gonna write my new sentence. Which one sounds better? We had to submit our our permission slips. We had to return. We had to give back. I kind of like submit, so I like return too. I think I'll use submit. So then you just write out the sentence. The day before vacation, we had to submit our permission slips. Cool. Kevin stared at me with his pale blue eyes. So instead of stared, what else could we use? We could say looked. But what's stronger than that? He gazed. Remember we talked about the word gazed? Yeah. What else? Looked at me. He gazed at me. What else could we do instead of stared? Looked, gazed. We can even say he eyed me. He glanced. Is glance the same thing as stare, though? No, glance is like a fast look. So we'll take a look. Oh, we could say gaped. Gaped is like when you go, like your mouth kind of opens too. But gape would be like your mouth. This one's fun. So instead of staring at somebody, you look at them, you stare at them. If you get stuck, one thing you can do is you can go onto your computer and you can type in synonyms for stare. So I'm going to do that really fast. Let's see what we come up with. Go to Google. Synonyms for stared. And I got gaped, glared, leered, peered. Ooh, I like peered. So I'm going to put peered here. Kevin peered at me with his pale blue eyes. Ooh, that's really cool. So I'm going to put that in here. Cool. So we can do that. Or you could even say he eyeballed. Or, ooh, remember when you're looking at something you observed? Kevin observed me with his pale blue eyes. Woo, hoo, hoo. Yay, yay, yay. That'll work. So you can add that down here. Now, on these, I want you to go through. You're going to add the 3 words that mean the same, the 3 synonyms, and then you pick the one you like the best for each one of these. So this word is mad, loved, crying, arguing, and junk. Cool. Off you go. Sweet. I'm going to pause the video and get ready to read. Okay, so you should have completed your worksheets, and now you're getting ready for Jake Drake Know-It-All, Chapter 8, Dropouts. Pardon me. So it starts off, then it was Christmas vacation. That's always been my favorite time of year. Where we live, there's almost always snow at Christmas, and there's nothing better than snow plus no school. But this vacation was different. On Christmas morning, I was waiting at the top of the stairs with Abby. Was I thinking about all the presents under the tree in the living room? No. I was thinking about magnets. And after the big Christmas dinner, and after Graham and Grandpa went home, did I play with my new Lego motor kit for the rest of the afternoon? No. I dug around in Dad's workshop. I was looking for wire and pieces of iron. And it was like that all week. Every day, I did some work on my project, read my books, and I made some drawings. I used a scientific method, and I wrote things down. One day, I had Mom take me to the hardware store. We bought 4 big batteries. Each one was as heavy as a jar of peanut butter, a full one. We bought 2 of the biggest nails I've ever seen. They were about 1 foot long and thicker than my pointer finger. That's this finger here, your pointer finger. And then I went to Radio Shack and bought 2 big spools of thin wire. That was what my Christmas vacation was like. When I wasn't working on my project, I was thinking about it. I mean, I didn't work on it the whole week, not every second. One day I went sledding with Willie. We had a great time. We didn't talk about our projects, not even once. And I did build this amazing Lego machine, which Abby wrecked. Even a big science fair project can't ruin Christmas, but It came pretty close. The week after vacation, Kevin went from being a know-it-all to a show-it-all. You know how I worked on keeping my project a secret? Kevin worked even harder to show and tell everyone all about his all the time. If kids walked past Kevin's table, he would start telling them about his ants. And if they tried to walk away, he'd say, "And look what else I found out." Kevin worked on a big poster at the table by the windows. He just left it lying there for everyone to see. The poster was great. It really was. And it wasn't even half done. In the gym on Tuesday, Kevin lay down on the floor by the wall. He started looking at some ants with a magnifying glass. They were all in a long line marching toward the door of the cafeteria. When kids came around, he told about how he had found out the way ants smell things and how their eyes and jaws work. And Kevin brought these amazing pictures. He took them with a digital camera. He printed them out on a color printer during library period. He showed them to everybody. On Thursday, I was waiting in line with Willie to buy ice cream sandwiches. I said, "So, did you start your project over vacation?" He said, "Yeah, I got some done, but I'm not going to be in the science fair." And 4 other kids in my class said they were quitting too. I didn't understand. "What do you mean?" Willie peeled back the paper and bit off a corner of his ice cream sandwich. He said, "I quit the science fair. It's too much trouble. Besides, everybody knows Kevin was going to win." I was still confused, and Willie could tell. He said, "If you've seen Kevin's stuff about ants, right? It's really good. And so is Carl Burton's stuff in my class." "In my class? His project is about simple machines. I think Kevin's is better." And then I got it. I got what Kevin had been doing all week. I said, "Don't you see, Willie? Don't you see? That's what Kevin wants. He's been showing off his science fair project so kids will drop out. He set a trap, and you walked into it." Willie shrugged. "Yeah, I guess so. But what's the point? It wasn't any fun to work on." Willie kept squeezing the ice cream out of the middle of his ice cream sandwich so he could lick it off. I said, "But what about the Bluntium 12 and a whole year of free internet? Don't you want to win that?" Willie shrugged again. "I mean, sure, that would be great, but I don't really need a new computer. And who wants to just try to beat Kevin all the time?" That made me think. And I got madder and madder at Kevin. He didn't really break any rules, but what he was doing didn't seem fair. And I got mad at Marcia because she was as bad as Kevin. All week long, she'd been telling everyone about her project too. She was going to prove that she could fool grass seeds into growing upside down. And then I got mad at Mr. Lenny Cordo. I thought it was all his fault that everyone was so upset about the science fair. Everybody was going nuts about his new computers. And then I got mad at Mrs. Carp and Mrs. Snavin and all the other grown-ups. They were the ones who let Wonky's supercomputer store talk them into this whole idea. And when I ran out of other people to get mad at, I got mad at myself. I had turned myself into a know-it-all. I had gotten as mean as Kevin and as sneaky as Marcia. I had practically ruined Christmas so I would win the big prize. But worst of all, back when Willie wanted to be my partner, what did I do? I sent him off on his own. I threw him into the shark tank with Kevin and into the snake pit with Marcia. Remember how she said Kevin was like a shark and Marcia was like a snake? Willie and I could have had fun working on this project together. All Thursday afternoon, my thoughts went around and around. I got sick of the whole mess, and I decided there was one thing to do. I was going to forget about Kevin and Marcia. I was going to forget about Mrs. Carp and Mrs. Snavin. I was going to forget about Mr. Lenny Cordo and his Bluntium 12 computer. I was going to quit the whole stupid science fair too, just like my best friend Willie. Oh no, that didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Uh-oh. Well, let's take a look at our packet here. Oh man, I really hope he doesn't quit. Well, that is our reading for today. Let's check and see. It looks like you guys are up for a short break. Okay, enjoy your break.